Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D. In today's video, we are going to take part in the Tim Talk Talkies Community Challenge. Build your 4K, build your dream, your ultimate, your fantasy 4K box set. I think there's only one stipulation. The movie should somehow be connected somehow. And I don't, whether it be genre, director, actor, even plot twist, or just have something in common. He left a lot of room for you to get really creative with this set. So I selected to go with an actor. My guy over at Original Fuzz, he did a great, you guys got to go check him out. He did a great set, a Denzel Washington / Tony Scott box. So he selected five movies that was directed by Tony Scott, and all 5 starred Denzel Washington. That was a killer box. He killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Fuzz really put some thought into that. And Fuzz got a nice channel too. Go check out Original Fuzz. Next up, so for me, I'm going to do Gene Hackman, but I decided to go with 5 Gene Hackman movies where Gene Hackman got the bulk of the screen time. Now, Gene Hackman was in a lot of movies. He was also in a lot of movies where he didn't get... These movies, I feel like he got a lot of screen time. So I didn't want to do a Gene Hackman box and put movies in where he didn't have as much screen time as somebody else. So you might look at these movies and say, well, where's so-and-so, so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. I selected 5 movies that I really felt like really represented Gene Hackman. I did not include Unforgiven. Yes, he was in that movie, but no, he didn't get as much screen time as I wanted him for this set. He had enough screen time for the movie, yes, but for a box set for him, nah, that movie belongs in an Eastwood box set. Okay, so we'll leave that there. So no, you're not going to see Unforgiven. Some of you might question that, but think about Unforgiven and how much screen time Hackman really had in that. He had enough for the movie, I do believe. So we're going to do 5 movies. I'm going to do 1 honorable mention just in case licensing fall through and the studios can't make my box set with these 5. Maybe they might have a hard time with one. I got a substitution for the studio who's going to license my set. So let's dive in and take a look at my ultimate Gene Hackman 4K 5 movie box set. Starting with 1971's The French Connection, starring police detective Popeye Doyle, and one of the greatest car chase scenes put on film. I'm not going to call it the greatest. Some people do. It's up there. This is up there, probably in the top 5, top 10 police chase scenes ever put on film. It was incredible. Great movie. Great story. I love The French Connection. Next up, we're going to pick up 1974, The French Connection 2. This movie pick up, and when I say pick up right where the first movie left off, this movie picks up right where the first this left off. And I'm not sure why it took 3 years for them to get this one out, because it really just rolled right into the first movie. They could have this could have been one long movie. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not sure why these 2 movies aren't on the same disc. These are older movies. A Blu-ray disc could have easily accommodated both of these films. But anyway, that's that. Next up, we're going to go with 1995, Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Russell Crowe, and Leonardo DiCaprio in The Quick and the Dead. Now, again, some people might say, well, where's Unforgiven? You got The Quick and the Dead. It's about screen time for this box set. Gene Hackman, he had as much screen time, in my opinion, as Sharon Stone. Maybe a little bit less because she was the lead in the movie, but he had a lot of screen time. That's why I selected this movie. It's a Gene Hackman box set, so it's all about him, okay? So The Quick and the Dead. I didn't want to leave out, he was in 2 great Westerns, maybe more, but 2 that I can think of right off the top of my head. I didn't want to leave both of them out. Next up, we have Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe in 1988's Mississippi Burning. Clearly a Gene Hackman movie. Willem Dafoe was definitely like second fiddle in this one. Again, we want the movie to focus on Gene Hackman. His performance in this one was banging. Mississippi Burning was a movie about what happened to Cheney, Schwerner, and Schwartz. I do believe that's in it. Yeah, Cheney, Schwerner, and Schwartz, the 3 civil rights activists who was going down to Mississippi to get black people to sign up to vote. They was killed, and this movie was all about that right there. Next up, last but not least, we have 1974's The Conversation. This is a banging thriller about wiretapping, surveillance, If you've never seen this one, you need to go ahead and check this one out. This was an absolute banger. It's called The Conversation. Great movie, guys. I'm telling you, great movie. And when I was looking for this movie before I was able to snag it, it was a little difficult to find. It wasn't, this particular Blu-ray at the time wasn't all that easy to find. I think it's a little easier to find now, but this wasn't that easy to find on Blu-ray or DVD when I was looking for it, actually. Now, those are the 5 main movies. Now, here's my here's my honorable mention and my holdout, just in case the studios have a hard time getting the licensing agreements for my first 5. They say, damn, you know what? We got the licenses for 4. We need 1 more. Here you go, baby. Here's one. Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman in Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide came out in 1995 as well. The Quick and the Dead and the Crimson Tide came out in the same year. We talked about this movie a couple times on the channel. So basically what you got a mutiny aboard a U.S. nuclear submarine. And that was a no-no, and this was a great movie. I'm not going to dive too deep into it. I just did a deep dive on this movie not too long ago. So, yeah, Crimson Tide. This is my honorable mention and my holdout. These are the Gene Hackman movies I would like to see in my Ultimate Gene Hackman 4K box set. First of all, I would like to see this as a 4K period. So, let's go ahead. We got The Conversation. We got Mississippi Burning. The Quick and the Dead. The French Connection 2, and The French Connection 1. So that's it, guys. That is my Ultimate Gene Hackman 4K box set. Tim, again, thanks for the challenge. I await your next.